Okay, got it.
Got it. Hello, and welcome to Mostly Minnesota Music Podcast Edition. This is Ann Tracy. I'm here with my co host,
Heather Baker.
and we are excited today to have Annie Mack. Welcome.
Hey, happy, beautiful evening, Friday.
Friday. Happy
Got it,
Friday.
got it right. I'm doing, yeah,
Yeah.
head
Yeah.
of
We
the
got
game.
to we, we got to soak it up. We're excited to talk to you about your new album. I always look back and I remember reviewing an album in 2018. I was looking back at my notes, and I think we met at the Astor Cafe.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And it
So
was such a beautiful capture of where I was at that time. So thank you very much. And thank you for now. So,
yeah, yeah. Well, it's fun when I have my notes. You say, well, that's what I thought about this time, and now, and I remember how strong your voice seemed back then, and now I just feel like this new album, Testify. That's like a straight up anthem come to Jesus for women, I feel like.
yeah, pretty much. And metaphorically, I'm not a person to push religion or anything like that. But, I learned from Mama Mavis. And she has this way about her where you could be any from any walk of life, religion, or whatever. But when the woman says that she cares about you or offers encouragement or anything, you believe her because you're thinking there's nothing that she wants other than to see people do well and feel good. And so that's kind of like what I captured. What I wanted to capture was I don't care where you're from, where you're coming, what you're doing. I just want you to know we've got this. So
Well, and I feel like some of the songs in particular, I'm looking at my own notes here, Shadows of a Kingdom. And I think I did read that that was for your daughter. And
yeah,
I think I remember we share having daughters.
yeah.
I remember that from before, but I think so much of this album speaks to women really of all ages. But maybe you could start talking a little bit about the Shadows of a Kingdom.
It's a song that my daughter is just a really beautiful, dimensional young woman, and she was going through a time where I realized for the first time, not the first time, but I couldn't jump in and make everything okay. I knew intuitively it really was her journey, and her to step into her space of sovereignty and realizing her own internal strength and trusting her intuition, trusting and understanding that our growth, our refining is going to be painful, but coming from that, we are stronger, wiser. And then also for all women, I think we've all had to go for our own journey of stepping into our sovereignty and our womanhood. We've had moments that have defined us. So Shadows of a Kingdom was kind of like a paying respect to that Minneapolis indie rock sound with some soul, and then acknowledging my daughter's personal journey, and then also understanding that this encompasses all of us, Black women, white women, everybody, and stepping into our. And I love trying to get airplay using intentional things. It was really important for me to use really powerful intentional words and to get airplay and support for that. I didn't talk about shaking my ass. I didn't talk about the
Right.
summertime vibe. What I talked about was sovereignty and women taking up our space and understanding that our bodies are sacred and understanding. So it was important for me to speak that and to get it out there.
Well, and what I have found, and my daughters are 16 to 22. I was thinking that but I find sometimes when I speak to them, I have to listen to myself,
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm wondering
Yeah.
if you came into the song, did you learn through the song? Did you have this coming in and you knew to impart it or,
I talk to myself a lot. So yeah, I was completely talking to myself. And my favorite part of it is like, I like the bridge, and as any wise queen would do, she knew to kill the beast and pardon the fools. It's
I love that
like
line. Yeah.
there are some that you gotta take the take out. I'm gonna watch my mouth there, and then you're gonna have to pardon the ignorance, and you just gotta let some people just go on about their way. And so I can honestly say, like, it's taken me a long time to appreciate what I write, but that's probably my favorite song. And I just wanted imagery. I wanted royalty. So I had horns on the tune. Stephen Kung did a beautiful job of, like, you can hear the royalty and the majesty, and that was really important to me to tell the story. So,
That's, oh, sorry.
and just
I was
to
gonna,
compare, like, it's not easy. Oh, sorry about that.
no, go ahead.
Like, as a woman, it's like, as a woman, we have to make miracles happen. Like, that's why I did the whole, like, water to wine. Like, it's like we have to come in as women, clean up the mess. We don't get the glory. We don't get the support, and we have to make miracles happen. So it's like a lot of, like, acknowledging, like, being a woman is hard and complex and demanding, and the shit that we have to do, excuse my French,
Oh, you're good.
it was important for me to give voice to that. So it really is an anthem. It really is. And the music, I wanted to hit you. I wanted to be, like, soulful and powerful and present and kind of have that just dark, some to it. And Matt Patrick was amazing at bringing that song to life. I love co-producing with him.
I was going to bring us to your song to Get on the Train, because that one spoke to me just because I'm a self-doubter, smaller person that I feel like I need a journal of wisdom notes from you, because I'm just like, every song you have such powerful lyrics, but the one on that one, the dreams won't make themselves come true, so don't let your doubts dreams don't make themselves come true, don't let your doubt set a trap for you.
Yeah. Yes, it's a very simple. I always say I'm a blue collar writer. I'm a pretty accessible, simple, straightforward person. But there is something about, I wrote it from the perspective of an elder who is like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? You scared? Get out there. Doesn't matter, go, brother, go, sister. You have a calling. You have greater things to do. However that shows up for you. Get out there. We have this life." And so I wanted to write something that was encouraging and that I could relate to. I talk to myself a lot. Every opportunity I get, I don't go home and think, "Yeah, that's for me." Yeah, yeah. No, I have to talk myself into accepting the goodness, accepting the success, believing I deserve it, believing I work for it, understanding that my worth is not tied up into these things, but I'm grateful to have them. So I constantly talk to myself, and it's like, there's a part where it's like, won't nobody else do the work for you? And it's true. You got to put in the work, and it feels good. So I was inspired by the elders that I know who have come before me, the Betty LaVettes, the Taj Mahals, the Davina and the Vagabonds. I consider her an elder in the way of her hustle, in the way that she shows up, in the way that she's been consistent. Um, and that's inspiring to me. It's exciting to me. So it was important to write a song from the perspective of, what do you have to lose? Which, well, come on, you know.
Is that a message that you would need for yourself regularly? Like, because what I project of you is you are strong. You will say it like it is, like you're a matter of fact, but you are a very soulful, heartfelt, good person. But like you were saying, you're talking to yourself. So I'm just wondering, is this something you've had to build up for yourself, or have you always, okay.
No, I'm a former foster kid who had everything kind of taken away in my youth when I was about 10 years old, and I went in foster care. And I didn't even have my own underwear to wear, right? I get like 15 minutes to go into a room, you grab things, clothes. And in that instant, I learned it doesn't matter what I wear, doesn't matter who I know, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's me, how I show up in this flesh. If there's a really beautiful scene in in The Pursuit of Happiness, where Will Smith shows up right for that, and he, you know, and he's wearing, he looks crazy. He looks crazy. He shows up for this. He's like, if I could get there, if I can just get there and show up, we're not even going to focus on the presentation, but if I can show up, you're going to see me beyond this. And I believe in that. I believe in the spirit coming through. I believe in, that's what we have to offer. It's not about how cool we look or if we talk a certain way or what we have. It's who are we as individuals? What's your spirit like? Is your spirit right? That will always come across. Where's your heart? Where's your intention? Where's your soul? Where are you at? You know? And those are the things I hold on to. Those are the things I think, okay, Annie, you had all the other shit taken away, but what you did have was your hope, and you had your heart, and you had your intention and belief that even though you're in foster care, you're still wanted, you're still worthy. And so those are the things like I've had to go through in my life and say, I'm still worthy, I'm still somebody, I'm something, you know. uh and I see that, and I honor that in others, and I try to bring voice to that. And that's what it is.
I was going to say, this is why this album and your work is so beautiful, for your truth and what you just said. It almost makes me want to cry. So sorry, but it really, like, the honesty that you give and the strength is, you can't, yeah.
I'm grateful. And I know there's a higher power. I know there's a spirit, because I was suicidal before I even knew that was the word. I thought, what am I here for? There's nothing for me to be here for. And it's a lie. Lies we tell ourselves, lies others tell us, because they're projecting, our worth. We have, as people and individuals, we are so worthy. We're worthy of love and success, and to live a life that we enjoy. um I struggle with the suffering aspect. I struggle with, if I'm not suffering, then it's not, and that's silly, right? That's survival mentality. So for me, I'm here as a testimony to all the underdogs, to all the people who didn't think they were going to make it, or who believe they don't deserve to. I'm the one to say, wait a minute, I understand you better than you think, and you deserve everything beautiful coming your way, even if you're in your humanity. I don't care if you just did drugs the night before. I don't care if you're still worthy. You got some work to do, but you're still worthy. And that's the importance of loving people right where they're at. Honoring people right where they're at doesn't mean they're not worthy. They're just in their humanity.
I remember beautiful song that you did, "Hey Mama," that
Yeah.
probably the last time I saw you, given the pandemic, and
Yeah.
with the strength of your own mother, which I think obviously must have instilled.
Yeah. Yeah, she was beat down. My mom was a, beautiful, intelligent Black woman, single mom, really trying to do the best she could without the tools or the support. And life was really hard. Life was really hard. And yet she was still able to find beauty, even in the hardness of that. I believe they coexist. I believe that hardness, complexity, suffering can completely exist with beauty and hope. And, it's a very strange dynamic, but I believe it's more common than not.
Well, it's that ability to bend and not break. And then I feel like we can see her in you. I mean, get the song that I know, obviously I
Yes.
didn't know her, but I
feel
and that
like a lot of people know Delia Thompson. I didn't tell everybody about Delia P. Thompson, so it's really funny when I talk about my mom, and people are like, you know what, she sounds like my mom. Like, it's the joking about like lighting her cigarettes and pretending to smoke. That's the era I'm from. She's like, go light me a smoke. Grab a smoke on the gas stove. Thanks, mom. And then light it, walk it over, and I'd be like, we watch those old MGM movies with all those like really, and they would always smoke like Fred Astaire, and we watched Channel 4 MGM movies, and she thought it was really funny, so, and ashtrays being art, pieces of art. So, yeah, I feel like a lot of people know my mom.
Yeah. Well, and just to pivot, because it makes it think about the testimony to your mother, and then that kind of leads me a little bit into the song "Testify," which I would love to hear you talk a little bit about, because I know what I get out of it, but it's
I wrote it initially as a testimony. So I love that artists will use the Bible as examples, but maybe not necessarily be religious. Bob Dylan did a whole album, right, where he did all these kind of like religious inspired, tunes. And I think he actually is a spirit seeker. I believe that, but it's a song about faith and steadfastness. It's a song about it's a march. It's like a battle march of steadiness. Like, we're not going to be turned around. We know, and the faith of understanding that what transpires is not always going to take place in the here and now, but it's happening in the spiritual realm and in the future. So when I wrote it, it was like, it's become a song of steadfastness, of faith in a whole different realm, and I use examples from the Bible that have stood out to me. And if nothing else, when you hear about Jesus going toe to toe with Satan in the spirit and the physical, because he had been fasting and he was weak and tired in the physical, and Satan came to him in the physical, but he was answering in the spiritual, because that's a lot of what happens. Our physical will betray us all the time, but it's the spiritual that steps in to say, wait a minute, that's the space. And so I wanted to share that testimony of like, and it was really funny, because to me they were doing a dance. It was like Satan, and you read the story and he's like, you don't have any food. If you're the son of God, then and he's like, no, I've got the word, so
the
that's
word
powerful
fed
to
by
me.
the word.
Right. And the woman with the issue of bleeding, it wasn't just the issue. It was like it ruined her life. Her life lost being normal. She had nothing because she was sick. She learned, like many of us, to live with the illness and the discomfort, and she so badly wanted her healing that she was like, if I gotta touch this hem, that's it. So for me, it's those stories of faith for very real instances where I think we can all relate to that. And so I use that, to tell that's what it was. Yeah.
It's hard not to bring that to a community level then, given the
Mm-hmm.
year that we've had.
Right. And it's encouragement, when you hear it, it's like, something's about to go down, and that was what I wanted. I wanted to create that with Matt Patrick. He heard it too. And he brought the vision of what we heard to life. And so you hear it and you're like, oh man, something's about to happen. And then you hear the first bar of the song and you're like, it's a march. Like, okay, we're not turning back. And that's what I want people, when they hear it, I don't care if you clean your house to it. I don't care if you're going to do something, Mom. You put that song on, and you're like, I need to hear this song because I got shit to get done.
I listened to it while I was running, not when I fell,
yes,
but when I ran. When I ran and I didn't fall, that's when I was like. But when I'm listening to it, I think I want next time I'm on a road trip, my kids are listening to this. It lifts you up. Yes. It makes you stand straighter.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I absolutely think that it does. I think it's, so. And the other side is Walking Around. That's another song that because that should be my paces walking around. But that's another one where I,
it's a bop. It's like I imagine walking down the street just being like, I really freaking love myself. Like that's I'm like I don't write traditional love songs, and I'm gonna put out an album of all mushy love songs and all its dynamic, but I don't write but I thought, man, how cool would it be to write a song about yourself where you like your head like you're feeling so good about yourself, you know? How neat would it be to write a love song for me, you know? And so yeah, I love walking around, and it's one of my favorite tunes, and I just like the melody. And I thought Matt wants to get Matt Patrick. I said, man, wouldn't it be cool if we had some mariachi like soul? Is there such a thing? He's like, I think there is, So we're like, I think there's a mariachi soul too. And so when I hear it, it's like looking in the mirror, I refuse to turn away. I'm digging what I see, and it's like that's seeing myself in all my components, all the beauty, all the bullshit, all the like, and owning that, and just and stepping into it and be like, um, I've had to go through some stuff, and that's okay, you know.
I think just the power of singing it, just the power of me singing your words. I mean, I think sometimes I walk through my days and I think, oh my God, if I heard one daughter say to the other daughter what I'm saying to myself right now, she'd be grounded.
That's right.
Like, and so why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? So I think it would be a fun practice for everybody to write a love song to themselves. But until I get to be a better songwriter, which I'm not working on, I can sing your song.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's very kind. Thank you so much.
I was going to say, you see, with your self-love and your honesty, is there something with this time with your kids, learning from home and stuff, them, I'm sure, soaking in all the work in this album? Is there some sort of moment and conversation that sticks out for you that happened?
There's
or you shared with them?
No, it's kind of funny. My daughter more so, she's 19. So, and then my others are my little guys are 6 and 4. So my 19-year-old is kind of like a mirror in the sense of like we both basically grew up together. I had her when I was 23. And I'm called out to own my shit, first of all, to break generational cycles of things, to know when I'm being, maybe unhealthy. Like, man, you ever have a daughter around a 19, man, she's hip. Like she doesn't miss a thing. Like she doesn't go for my bullshit, nothing. Like I'm just like, man, can't you just let me? She's like, no, mom, and I'll look at myself, I've got 3 kids, so I've got stretch marks in my tummy and I'll be like, man, she's like, mom, you're beautiful. This is the body you have right now. So what's your problem? And to be called out like that by my daughter, I'm like, okay, it's like, and so I feel very convicted and challenged in the best way possible. And of course, you just want them to have freedom way before when we figure it out. I'm just now stepping into, what am I, 40? I'm going to be 43. So maybe the past 3 years, and she's 19, and there's things she's already understanding that I wasn't even ready to even grab a hold of, So it's really interesting to see that.
How beautiful to share that together too.
Yeah, I think so. But
yeah, kind of doing the work. I mean, you've done the work, so you can have that relationship too. And she knows.
Trying to, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's something about having daughters that, yeah, you're proud when they get to it before you do, because that's you're doing, and then you think, well, I'm gonna have to follow that now. And there's something about having daughters where like, I'm gonna have to fake it. Like I don't want to go off the high dive, but if I don't want her to be afraid of going off the high dive, I got to go off the high dive.
Yes, yes. Even it's so good that's yes. Even when I'm like finagling business, and my booking agent will call me, which I've never had before, so I felt pretty cool just saying that right now. And he'll say, "Well, they offered you this," and I say, "Listen, tell them no, thank you." And then here's what I need for you to ask, because this is what I know I'm going to bring to the table. And that would have never happened a few years ago. And to have my daughter kind of be privy to a lot of those conversations and a lot of those, like, what it takes to run a business as a woman, it's pretty interesting. So it's kind of like, she's like, Mom, did you really just turn that? I'm like, yes, I did. Because I don't have to compromise, if I know that they have the means, or if I know that if it's a community benefit, like, I'm cool. But you just know when it's legit and when
Yep.
it's not. And I said, no, I know my worth. I'm not asking for anything crazy. That's it. So
Congratulations.
yeah, well,
That's huge. It's hard to say that because I know I listened to the line check where you and Davina were both saying, you're hustling, you're doing this, and you're running yourself into the ground. And fear feeds that. And to get to that spot, that is huge.
yeah, well,
Huge.
thank you.
Yeah.
I
Well,
want to
does
thank you ladies so much for doing this. I really appreciate the time that you make to do this and to talk to people. And I talk a lot because I like don't talk to a lot of the adults during the day. So I just like, so thank you for your graciousness.
Oh no, it's wonderful to hear the backstory of an album that's amazing.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's amazing. Well,
I was Oh, sorry. I was just going to tell Annie, we have talked to a lot of people, and many local artists have all asked, have you heard Annie's? Have you talked to her? Are you going to talk to her or whatever? Everybody is raving about it.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm very humbled. I'm very yeah, these are the moments of my mom, man, if you were here,
Mm.
I have I'm very humble. There's so many people whom I love and respect, artists, local. I don't even care about, I'm talking people who offer something that I find so incredibly beautiful and inspiring. And then the people like you, the radio promoters and the podcasts and the written word, and the so many people who do it for the love, not because they're making money and getting glory. I am so humbled and overwhelmed, and sometimes I feel bad because I don't always have the words or the energy to be on Facebook and be like, yes, like sometimes but there's so many components that make up the local music scene from all dimensions that I'm so grateful. And I will never take it for granted. Like, no, to go to Electric Fetus, to have them reach out and say, hey, can you bring in some of your music? And, you go through the process. It's so humbling. It's so humbling. And, sorry about that.
Oh, I was just about to, yeah.
But it's just, yeah, it's just very humbling. It's very humbling that people are rooting for you. People you didn't know were rooting for you. People, that's been the biggest thing. Like, when I see who likes things or who have reached out, I'm like, I've been a fan of yours for years. So I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, don't you have a Grammy to go get? Like, are you busy? Like, why are you even making time to talk to me? So it's very overwhelming to me.
It's good.
Yeah.
Well, and the piece of music that we've all missed so much in the last year and a half is the live music, which kind of is the segue to say you've got a bunch of shows coming up.
Yeah.
And I wrote them down, and I'm actually going to take my glasses off just to be able to see them now.
I do. I know. I'm like that too. I'm like, oh, these bifocals don't work. It's BS. Like, whoever does, I never see anybody doing them.
Mine aren't bifocals because I swear they don't work. So I'm just going to keep lifting up when I got to see something close. But you'll be in Lanesboro on July 9th.
July 9th, full band. I'm working with a phenomenal artist in their own right who have come together to support me. Mary Kirchfellow, really badass
Oh yeah.
roots, she's so good. She's stepping in to do, lead guitar work. Charlie Burkett, really beautiful, kind of badass Berkeley kid. I always call them the Berkeley kids. Alec Tackman on drums, absolutely amazing. Tim Scribner, all artists in their own right who are like, yeah, we'll support you. Like, let's go out and play. Lanesboro, July 9th. I've got July 22nd, Mears Park. Lowertown Sounds, that's a Thursday. July 17th, I just picked up supporting the Bodines in Plymouth, Minnesota.
Ooh.
July 24th, I'll be headlining the Aquatennial fireworks, the Target fireworks. That'll be really cool. July 29th, I'll be in Rochester Duo. So yeah, it's a lot of work. It's crazy.
Nice.
I almost feel bad who you're supporting because I'd hate to go on stage after you.
Oh man, I feel like that all the time when they're like, "Do you want a headline?" I'm like, "No, I don't want a headline." I'm playing a really great show with August 13th at the Fine Line. And let me know, ladies, and I'll get you on the list. Whatever shows you want to go to, I'm gonna post them, and I will put. It would be beautiful to have you and a guest come, but the Fine Line is like Turn, Adam Levy, and Barb Brinson, like just amazing people. Lady Lark and myself, and I'm like, oh my gosh, So it's just really interesting to. I'm excited. I'm humbled. I'm grateful. That's it. I'm excited. That's it.
It's as I said, it's something all of us have been missing so much. I mean, the artists. Absolutely. I mean, you obviously miss it more than we do, but heck, we've been missing it.
Yeah.
We've been missing live music, and I know you do an amazing show. So I think that'll be.
Oh, thank you. Well, the first few have been a little shaky on my end, so I'm still getting into it, but we'll have it right. I'll have it right pretty soon.
It's funny because a lot of the musicians that we've talked to or that we've gone to see, or we're fortunate enough to see, even last summer, they all feel the same way, but it doesn't seem like that from the outside. From the outside, it all looks good. It all sounds good. And we're just so grateful to have you back. So that's
right. Yeah.
Yeah. I will put this in the notes, but for folks who are listening, where can people find you online?
They can find me iTunes. Bandcamp is really awesome. My website, anniemackmusic.com. In the flesh, they can go to Electric Fetus and make a lady feel really nice about herself. I've got my EP out there. Spotify, all the major platforms, I'm there. So, and physical too, but you gotta go to Electric Fetus. So.
Well, and I think the cover of the CD is enough. That's a good look on you. It's a regal look you've got going on that cover. It's of the CD, so that's worth seeing too.
Yes, the art. Oh my word, Shelly Mosman, stunning. Like I told her, she put me on the map. I said, "Man, Shelly." Shelly Mosman and Natalie DeGrand. Natalie DeGrand did the really beautiful album artwork with the flowers in the background, but Shelly captured all the photos. So many like really beautiful dimensional photos, and she is just a phenomenal artist and has her own vibe and I knew that's who I want to work with, so I'm grateful that she was able to work with me, and I think we got a really beautiful it was really about sovereignty and taking up space and just being a queen. I thought, man, how cool would it be to be a queen? So
well, and this is an album that makes all of us want to be a queen, lifts us to that level. So thank you for an amazing album, and thank you for taking time. It's tough to do when you're a musician and you're a mom and you're doing other things and it's Friday night. So we really appreciate the time that you've taken to talk to us.
I appreciate your patience, and I apologize for being a little bit late. So thank you for still taking the call. So I'm going to own that. So have Heather and Ann, I really appreciate you immensely. And thank you for having me tonight.
Thanks, Annie.